Your phone, that little screen, is it stealing your life? Feeling less than, scrolling endlessly, comparing yourself until you feel hollow? That's not you. It's a system designed to make you feel that way. 46% of us feel inadequate because of social media. Think about that. Today, we break that cycle. Stick with me, and I'll show you exactly how to stop measuring your worth in likes and follows and start building rock-solid confidence that no algorithm can touch. This changes today. All right, let's get real. How many times today have you already checked your phone? 5, 10, 50? Be honest. And how many times did you put it down feeling better about yourself? Inspired? Confident? Or did you feel kind of drained? Maybe a little anxious? That familiar pang of comparison, seeing someone else's perfect vacation, perfect body, perfect relationship, perfect life, and feeling like yours just doesn't measure up. You're not alone. That feeling of never enough, that constant low-grade anxiety simmering under the surface, it's practically an epidemic. And listen, it's not your fault. You're living in a world that constantly floods you with curated, filtered, highlight reel versions of reality and tells you that's the standard. It's designed to make you compare, make you crave, make you feel like you're missing out. We're talking about platforms engineered to grab your attention and hold it hostage, often at the expense of your own peace of mind and self-worth. But here's the truth bomb I want you to grab onto right now. Your worth is not determined by your follower count, your likes, or how aesthetically pleasing your grid is. It never was, and it never will be. Your value as a human being is inherent. It's non-negotiable, and it exists completely outside of that digital echo chamber. Today, we're not just talking about this problem. We are dismantling it. We're going to pull back the curtain on why social media hits us so hard, especially when it comes to our identity and self-esteem. We'll look at the brain science, yes, the actual neuroscience, behind the comparison trap. And most importantly, I'm giving you concrete, actionable strategies, things you can do today to curate your feed, not just for looks, but for your mental health, and to start building genuine, resilient self-worth from the inside out. Forget the external validation. We're building internal fortification. Stay with me. This is the work that changes everything. Let's dive deeper into a story, and I bet parts of this will sound way too familiar. Let's call her Maya. She's 22, maybe just finished college, maybe in the thick of it, or trying to figure out what that first real step into the adult world even looks like. She's smart, got ambition, but feels adrift. And her phone? It's like an anchor pulling her down some days. The comparison game isn't just a background hum, it's specific posts smacking her in the face. She opens Instagram and boom. Someone from her class just landed a killer internship at that dream company everyone applied to, complete with the company logo backdrop photo. Swipe again. Another friend's feed looks like a permanent music festival or beach vacation. Perfect group shots, everyone laughing, looking effortlessly cool while Maya's stressing about assignments or her part-time job budget. Then she flips to TikTok, and it's an endless stream of people her age seemingly mastering life. Flawless morning routines in aesthetically perfect apartments, side hustles that look like they're already making bank, workout videos with impossible physiques, or those soft launch relationship posts that hint at perfect love stories unfolding while she's maybe navigating confusing dating apps or feeling single AF. Even LinkedIn isn't safe. It's people announcing they got into competitive grad programs or sharing hyper-polished learnings from their first entry-level gig, making it sound like they've got it all figured out. Maya described this feeling, not just envy, but this heavy, sinking sensation in her gut, a voice whispering, "You're falling behind." Like everyone else got a secret map to adulting, and she's stuck at the starting line without a clue. Logically, she told me, her voice tight, I know it's not the full picture. I know that internship probably involves fetching coffee, that perfect couple argues, and that side hustle is likely barely breaking even. But the image, the constant stream of everyone else appearing to succeed and have fun, it just bypasses my rational brain and drills straight into my biggest insecurities. And the worst part? The timing. She'd fall into the scroll hole late at night, telling herself it was just zoning out. But really, she was mainlining highlight reels right before trying to sleep. So she'd lie there, phone finally down, but mind racing. Why haven't I figured out my major career path? Why isn't my social life like that? Will I ever feel like I fit in or measure up? She'd wake up feeling drained before the day even began. Motivation shot, making it even harder to tackle the actual steps she needed to take, whether that was studying, applying for jobs, or just reaching out to a real friend. It's a brutal cycle, fueled by passively consuming curated glimpses of other people's lives. Maya wasn't comparing apples to apples. She was comparing her messy, uncertain, work-in-progress reality to everyone else's filtered, cropped, perfectly captioned highlight moments. And let me tell you, this isn't just a Maya problem. If you're 18 wondering how everyone else seems to have college figured out, or 20 feeling FOMO because your weekend doesn't look like an Instagram ad, or 24 stressed about finding that first real job while others seem to be climbing ladders, you get it. The specific triggers shift slightly with age, but that gut punch feeling of comparison and the way social media pours gasoline on it, that's universal in this digital age, and it's time we learned how to fight back. Okay, let's get nerdy for a minute because understanding the why behind this comparison trap is incredibly empowering. As I mentioned, your brain is fundamentally wired for social comparison. This isn't a flaw. It's a feature inherited from our ancestors. Back then, knowing your standing within the group, could you hunt as well as the next guy? Were your skills valued? Was critical for survival. Being ostracized could literally be a death sentence. So, your brain developed sophisticated, largely unconscious mechanisms to constantly scan your social environment and assess your relative position. Now, transplant that ancient brain into the 21st century, armed with a smartphone. Suddenly, your social environment isn't just the 50 to 150 people in your immediate tribe. It's potentially billions of people, many of whom are actively curating an image of perfection. Your brain wasn't designed for this scale or this level of curated input. It gets overwhelmed. Think about mirror neurons. These are brain cells that fire both when you perform an action and when you observe someone else performing that action. They help us understand and empathize with others. But some research suggests they might also play a role in how strongly we internalize what we see online. When you see someone projecting ecstatic happiness or flawless success, your mirror neurons might subtly activate corresponding feelings. But if your reality doesn't match, it can amplify that feeling of lack or inadequacy. Furthermore, the frequency and intensity of these comparisons are off the charts compared to pre-digital life. Before, you might compare yourself to a neighbor's new car or a colleague's promotion occasionally. Now, you can expose yourself to hundreds, even thousands of potential upward comparison points in a single scrolling session. Each tiny comparison, even if you barely register it consciously, taxes your brain. It triggers microdoses of stress hormones. It forces cognitive evaluation. Where do I stand relative to this? Multiply that by hundreds of times a day, and you get chronic neurological fatigue. Your brain is simply worn out from constantly assessing and comparing against an impossible, digitally manufactured standard. And this constant state of comparison can easily curdle into something darker. When people feel chronically less than, insecure, or envious, it can sometimes fuel online aggression. That shocking 59% cyberbullying statistic isn't entirely separate from the comparison culture. They can feed each other. Feeling inadequate can make someone lash out, using the anonymity of the internet to tear others down, creating a toxic cycle. Understanding this neurological underpinning isn't an excuse, but it helps explain why these platforms can become breeding grounds for negativity if we aren't mindful. Your brain is just trying to do its old job in a radically new, overwhelming environment. This brings us back to that critical AHA moment, and I want to hammer it home with a few different angles. You are comparing your raw, messy, unedited, behind-the-scenes documentary to everyone else's highly polished, perfectly lit, expertly edited blockbuster movie trailer. Imagine a chef. You see their final dish presented beautifully on Instagram. Perfect sear, artistic drizzle, microgreens placed just so. You don't see the hours of prep, the messy kitchen, the sauce that got burned, the 3 failed attempts before they got it right. You just see the flawless end result. Now imagine comparing your attempt at cooking dinner after a long workday. Maybe slightly burnt toast, maybe pasta that stuck together, to that chef's Instagram photo. It's ludicrous, right? Yet we do this all the time with careers, relationships, bodies, lives. Think about the effort that goes into creating those highlight reels, the time spent choosing the right outfit, finding the perfect lighting, taking dozens or hundreds of photos to get the right angle, selecting the best one, editing it, applying filters, crafting the witty or inspiring caption. It's often a significant production. And what effort do you put in? You just scroll. You passively consume their finished product while intimately knowing your own ongoing process, complete with all its imperfections, doubts, and setbacks. This isn't just unfair, it's a recipe for feeling perpetually inadequate. You're comparing your Chapter 3 to someone else's Chapter 20, or worse, to the glossy summary on their book jacket that leaves out all the struggles in between. When you scroll and feel that pang of, I'm not good enough, I want you to mentally yell, stop! Unfair comparison alert? This is their trailer, not their full movie. Recognizing the fundamental mismatch between your lived experience and their curated presentation instantly dials down the power of that comparison. It allows you to see it for what it is, a performance, not necessarily a reflection of reality. This awareness is your first line of defense. So why do we keep going back for more, even when it hurts? Let's double-click on the brain science of dopamine and validation. As mentioned, likes, comments, follows, they trigger dopamine release. But it's not just the getting of the reward, it's the anticipation that's incredibly powerful. This involves the brain-seeking system, driven by dopamine. It's that feeling of, ooh, what's next? Maybe this time it'll be something really good. That keeps you pulling the refresh lever. Social media platforms are masters of variable rewards. Like a slot machine, you don't know when the next win, a great post, a validating comment, will come. Sometimes it's boring, sometimes it's exciting. This unpredictability is far more addictive than predictable rewards. Your brain stays engaged, hoping for that next hit. The algorithms are specifically tuned to learn what keeps you scrolling, what kind of content gives you that dopamine rush or triggers that comparison response, and they feed you more of it. They are literally designed to create and exploit this seeking loop. Now, layer on top of this our fundamental human need for belonging and validation. Especially when you're younger, you're actively figuring out who you are, where you fit in. Social media offers a readily available, albeit superficial, source of validation. You post a photo, get likes, and your brain interprets it as social approval. They like me. I belong. This external validation can become a crutch, a substitute for developing genuine internal self-worth. You might start performing an identity online, posting things you think will get engagement, rather than expressing your authentic self. Your sense of self becomes fragile, dependent on fluctuating online feedback. The cognitive cost here is huge. You spend mental energy crafting a persona, monitoring feedback, worrying about judgment, instead of investing that energy in real-world growth and connection. And remember, this environment designed for validation seeking is also, tragically, the same environment where that 59% experienced cyberbullying. The very platforms that train us to crave external approval are also the places where others can weaponize judgment and criticism with devastating efficiency. This makes protecting your mental space even more critical. You need to consciously shift from seeking external validation to cultivating internal validation. This leads directly to our second game-changing HA moment, and it connects beautifully to that idea of taking ownership. You are the boss of your feed. You control the input. Curate your digital world as fiercely as you would protect your own home. Think about it. If someone constantly came to your house, pointed out your flaws, bragged about their perfect life, and made you feel like garbage, how long would you let them stay? You'd kick them out, right? You'd lock the door. Yet, we allow accounts on social media to do this to our minds every single day. We passively let their negativity, their unrealistic portrayals, their triggers seep into our consciousness. No more. It's time to step up and be the intentional gatekeeper of your mental real estate. This isn't just about hitting unfollow on the obvious triggers. It's about a proactive, conscious strategy. Ask yourself, who do I follow that actually adds value to my life? Inspiration, education, genuine connection, humor that lifts me up? Who do I follow out of obligation, guilt, or just mindless habit, even though their content drains me? Am I following a diverse range of voices, body types, life experiences? Or am I stuck in an echo chamber of unrealistic perfection? Curating your feed means actively seeking out content that aligns with your values and makes you feel good or thoughtful, not inadequate. Follow artists whose work inspires you, writers whose words resonate, activists fighting for causes you believe in, comedians who make you genuinely laugh, people who show vulnerability and realness alongside their wins. Follow accounts that showcase diverse beauty standards, different paths to success, the messy middle of life, not just the polished end. This is an act of taking 100% responsibility for your mental environment, just like Les Brown talks about taking responsibility for your life. Stop blaming the algorithm entirely. Yes, it plays a role, but you have the ultimate power to mute, block, unfollow, and, crucially, to follow things that nourish your mind. Make your feed a place that reflects the person you are and the person you aspire to become. Make it a source of empowerment, not a source of pain. You get to choose. Own that choice. Okay, let's operationalize this. The 5-minute feed audit is your starting weapon. Let's refine it slightly. Choose your weapon. Wisely. Pick the app that causes you the most comparison pain or time suck. Don't try to tackle all platforms at once. One battlefield at a time. Set the timer. Non-negotiable. Seriously, set a timer for 5 minutes. Maybe even 7 minutes if you're feeling brave. Commit to stopping when it goes off. Scroll with intention and feel. This time, don't just scroll mindlessly. Pause briefly on each post. Ask, how does this physically make me feel? Tight chest, sinking stomach, shoulder tension, or maybe lightness, a smile, curiosity? Get in touch with the somatic response. Our bodies often know before our minds articulate it. Immediate action. The unfollow mute. Trigger. The instant you identify a post or account that consistently triggers negative feelings, envy, inadequacy, anxiety, anger, boredom, don't debate it. Don't worry about hurting their feelings. They likely won't notice, especially a mute. Your mental health comes first. Hit unfollow or mute immediately. Treat it like swatting a mosquito buzzing in your ear. Quick, decisive action. Aim for at least 3 to 5 unfollows, mutes in your audit window. Notice the relief. After you hit unfollow mute, take one deep breath. Acknowledge the feeling of taking control. Notice if there's even a tiny sense of relief or lightness. Reinforce the positive feeling associated with protecting your space. Seek the good. Intentionally look for 1 or 2 accounts during your scroll that do make you feel good or inspired. Don't just passively consume. Actively engage. Like the post mindfully. Leave a genuine comment. This really resonated. Great insight. Thanks for sharing this. Save it if you want to revisit it. Train the algorithm and your brain to prioritize positive input. Repeat and refine. This isn't a one-time fix. Your feed changes. New accounts pop up. Schedule a quick 5-minute audit, maybe once a week or every 2 weeks. Make it a mental hygiene habit, like brushing your teeth. Optional micro-challenge. Try turning off appearance-altering filters on your camera or social apps for 1 day. Notice how it feels to see and share a more unvarnished version of yourself. It can be surprisingly liberating. This isn't about achieving a perfect feed. It's about progress, not perfection. It's about actively shaping your digital environment to support, rather than sabotage, your well-being and self-worth. Each small act of curation reinforces your agency. All right, we've covered a lot. We've dissected the comparison trap, peeked under the hood at the brain science, and armed you with strategies to take back control of your digital space. But cleaning up your feed is only half the battle. The real work, the work that builds unshakable confidence and lasting self-worth, happens offline. It happens inside you. Let's get brutally honest. Inspired by some of the greatest minds in personal development, feeling insecure isn't something you just magically overcome by scrolling less. As the legendary Jim Rohn implied, you have to work harder on yourself than you do on anything else, especially now in these formative years, 18 to 44, investing in you, your skills, your mindset, your resilience is the single most important project you'll ever undertake. Confidence isn't found, it's built. Brick by painstaking brick, through effort, action, and learning. So, how do we build it? First, take action, especially when you're scared. Confidence doesn't wave hello before you do the scary thing. It's waiting for you on the other side of that action. Les Brown roars about taking massive action. You prove your capability to yourself by doing the thing that terrifies you. Waiting to feel ready is a trap. Identify one thing you're avoiding due to fear or lack of confidence. Applying for that reach job, having that difficult conversation, posting your creative work. Break it down. What's the absolute smallest first step? Is it opening the application? Drafting one sentence of the email? Saying hello? Okay, now just count 3, 2, 1, and physically move. Launch yourself into that tiny action before your brain throws up a million excuses. Every single time you act despite fear, you deposit evidence in your "I can handle this" bank account. That's how confidence grows. Second, embrace the struggle. Failure is feedback, not failure. Les Brown teaches us life will knock you down. Social media makes it look like everyone else is gliding, but reality is full of bumps, bruises, and flat-out face plants. You will stumble. You will get rejected. You will mess up. Welcome to being human. But failure is not fatal, and it's not final. It is simply data. It's information telling you what didn't work, so you can adjust your approach. Stop internalizing setbacks as proof of your inadequacy. Ask, what's the lesson here? What can I learn? How can I pivot? Reframe struggle as refinement. Forgive yourself fast. Get curious, not crushed. Third, own your damn life. Take 100% responsibility. This is huge. Stop the blame game. Stop pointing fingers at your circumstances, your past, the algorithm, other people's advantages. Les Brown demands you take radical responsibility. You are the driver of your life. Even when the conditions suck, even when things feel unfair, you always have control over your effort, your attitude, and your next action. Waiting for permission, waiting for rescue, that keeps you powerless. True confidence ignites the moment you decide, this is my life, and I am responsible for moving forward, no matter what. Identify one area where you've been playing the victim or making excuses. What one action can you take today to improve it, even 1%? Do that. Fourth, master your inner dialogue. Become your own biggest cheerleader. What's that voice inside your head saying all day? Is it finding flaws, predicting failure, echoing those social media comparisons? Or is it encouraging you? You need to become the bouncer of your own mind, as Jim Rohn might say. Catch those negative, limiting thoughts. I'm not smart enough. They're so much better. I'll probably fail. And challenge them. Stop them in their tracks. Reframe I can't to, okay, how could I? Or, what's the first step? Practice self-compassion. Talk to yourself with the same kindness and encouragement you'd offer a friend you love. Write down 3 things you genuinely appreciate about yourself or accomplished today. Folding laundry counts. Learn to accept compliments without batting them away. Your self-talk creates your self-perception. Make it work for you. Fifth, develop discipline. Build the bridge to your goals. Motivation is awesome, but it's fickle. It comes and goes. Discipline is what builds empires, both internal and external. Jim Rohn called it the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Confidence flows from knowing you can trust yourself to show up, to do the work, even when you don't feel like it. It's about keeping promises to yourself. Pick one small daily discipline that moves you towards a goal or improves your well-being, that 15 minutes of skill building, that 5-minute feed audit, drinking enough water, meditating for 3 minutes. Commit to it for just 1 week. Prove to yourself you can be consistent. Each day you follow through, you build self-trust, the bedrock of confidence. Sixth, guard your associations. Choose your influences wisely. Jim Rohn's famous line bears repeating, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And guess what? This absolutely includes your online environment. Who are you letting influence your thoughts, your energy, your aspirations? Surround yourself, online and offline, with people who believe in you, who challenge you constructively, who inspire you to be better. Limit exposure to chronic negativity, gossip, cynicism, and yes, those accounts that fuel endless comparison. Be ruthless about protecting your energy. Choose influences that align with the confident, capable person you are becoming. Finally, stay hungry. Connect with your why. Why are you doing any of this? What gets you fired up? Les Brown shouts, you gotta be hungry. What is the deep-seated desire, the purpose, the vision that pulls you forward? When you connect with a powerful why, to build a better life for your family, to make a specific impact, to express your creativity, to achieve a challenging goal, it provides incredible fuel. It makes the obstacles seem smaller, the fear less paralyzing. When you feel overwhelmed or doubtful, reconnect with that deeper purpose. Remind yourself why this matters. Let that hunger drive you past the temporary discomfort of growth and the superficial noise of comparison. So, the challenge extends beyond cleaning your feed. It's about actively building your worth from the inside out. Your challenge today is twofold. Do the 5-minute feed audit at least once. Take immediate action. Feel the power of curation. Pick one of those confidence-building principles: taking action, embracing struggle, owning your life, mastering self-talk, developing discipline, guarding associations, or staying hungry. And identify one specific, tiny action you will take related to it within the next 24 hours. Write it down. Tell someone. Just do it. Forget measuring your worth by likes. Start measuring it by your courage, your effort, your resilience, your integrity, your commitment to your own growth. Build your confidence through action. Define your value through your character. Show up for your real life. You are not defined by your profile. You are defined by your potential and your choices. Start choosing you. Start building you. Offline, right now. You absolutely have everything you need to do this. Go get started. I'm rooting for you. Always.